I could keep playing the music if I really wanted to, but we got a show to do, right? In fact, it's Friday night. Yes, in fact, normally I tune in a little earlier, or normally I do my show a little earlier in the day, but today had to do it a little bit later today. And you may notice that I've made a couple changes, not really that many changes, but I am trying a different camera angle that is still something I'm trying to get used to. So how's everybody doing today? We got people all over the place hanging out with us tonight, which is fantastic. So we've got, oh my gosh, we got Georgia in the house, got Poland in the house, Michigan, Liberia. This is fantastic. Hello, everybody, and happy Friday to you as well. Just like the Basement Show with Mr. Nast said, joining in from New Jersey. Okay, so this is going to be fun. So we are going to get right to it because, quite frankly, to be totally honest with you, I'm going to be live until about 5:45 Eastern time. So I'm in Indiana here in the United States, and that's what we're doing tonight. So I've got some tips, 5 tips that are going to think of them as like, I don't know. I'm still kind of in that beginning of the year, even though we're finally in February, which, boy, it's going fast already. I mean, I can't believe we're already one way out of 1 month in and over with in 2024. It's crazy. So anyways, I'm still kind of in this mode or mindset where in the beginning of the year, I always like to, it's kind of like a reset. I don't know. And I talked about this the last time I was live, but I'm kind of still in this sort of like, I don't know. I've just been talking with some people and people are kind of in improvement mode, right? And so I thought, why not do a show where I'm going to share 5 things that I want you to make sure that you're doing or focusing on to help you improve your live stream. So even if you're just getting started, right? Many of you are just getting started with your live videos. And then many of you, like our friend John, where'd he go? There he is. Jersey strong. Maybe you've been streaming for a while, like John over at Coffee Talk and Tech. And then, of course, you got James. He's been around the block a few times when it comes to live streams, right? So if you're not tuning into Hicks New Media, definitely make sure you're checking that out over there for sure. So either way, here's the deal. When you are, no matter where you are in your journey or the stages of your live streaming, you can always look at something. You can always either do a little, level up, upgrade your streams by trying more features of StreamYard or whatever software you're using, or even your equipment, right? And so I'm going to just give you 5 things today. I'm going to run through them fairly quick because I do want to have time for Q&A today. And like I said, I'm going to be streaming for about another 35 minutes because we got a family dinner tonight. It's going to be super fun. So I only have a little bit, not quite the full hour that I normally stream like I normally do. So okay, let's get started, shall we? All right, we're going to just jump right in. So this is something that I feel like more people should be doing, and I really honestly can tell when people do it and when they don't. But that is basically to plan your show flow. So plan a show flow. This is similar but different to an outline. So what I mean by show flow, I actually mean what is the flow of your show? That was ridiculous. You know what is a pet peeve of mine? When someone defines a word by using the word in the definition. You can't do that. You just can't do that. So I literally just did that. So here's the deal. An outline is basically it could be a show flow, but an outline typically is your content, right? So what content are you actually going to be speaking to? Is it going to be, are you going to have, some reminders in there? Are you going to have some bullet points? What exactly are you going to be doing? A show flow is a little bit more like a video production outline. So think of it that way. So a show flow might be, you have an overlay that you've planned that you're going to start with. You've got maybe either a countdown video or a welcome video, which I highly encourage many of you to start doing. Maybe you are actually kicking off just right out of the gate. You're going live and you are playing some sort of intro video right away. And then you're going to have some elements of activity that you're going to do. You're maybe going to engage with the audience. You're going to pull up some banners, whatever. Then you're actually going to go into your content. But I want you to have the show flow is essentially you deciding on in 2024, what's your show flow going to be like? And so maybe you literally have never done this. You literally are like, usually I just go live and that's what I do. Well, I want you to actually consider adding in other elements into your production so that you can level up the production. Now, something I also want you to focus on here, this show flow, it could be very different for each show, meaning like every time you go live, it could be totally different. But I really want you to actually start to create a bit of a routine. So when I say plan a show flow, I really mean create kind of a template that you're going to follow for every show. Maybe not every single show, but most shows. Because when you start to have a show flow that is consistent throughout your different streams, people will then know what to expect. They know what's coming. They know what to do. They know how to act. So if you tune into Dee Nimmin and Daniel Patal's show that they do it's one Saturday a month here on the StreamYard channel, they absolutely have a bit of a show flow that you can expect, right? It's something that you know is coming, you know what they're going to do, you know how they operate that show, and you basically are much more likely to engage. You're much more likely to tune in because you understand how it is. So I was just making this joke the other day with somebody. If those of you that watch HGTV, right? HGTV. So in fact, Doug and I were sitting on the couch the other day. We were watching an episode and he was like, okay, I'm going to go get in the shower. I was like, babe, there's only 10 minutes left. You're about to miss the best part, the reveal. He's like, oh, okay. So he sits back down and they go through all their things. They have their bit of drama. They have their budget that needs to change. Of course, it happens every time. There's some element of a decision that the owner that's getting their house renovated needs to decide on. And it's always very dramatic and whatever. And they always say yes, by the way. They always say yes. And they add that $10,000 to their budget to fix that thing they didn't know was going to be there, or that code thing that they didn't plan on, right? Anyways, my point is this. You kind of know what to expect when you watch any of these renovation shows on HGTV, right? And then at the end, the designer is going to basically reveal the home, right? They've staged it. It's beautiful. It's perfect. They're going to now reveal the results of this house because the homeowner's never been in there throughout the last 6 weeks. I never believe that, by the way. They always say they go live in a hotel and they're not allowed to come in. I don't know. I don't believe it. But anyway, my point is this. They always show, what do? If you know, because you watch these shows, you know exactly what I'm about to tell you is going to happen. At the end of the show, towards the end of the show, right, they're getting ready to reveal it. They show the people, they step in the front door and they go, oh. And then what? Every single time. What happens every single time? Like you should already know, and therefore you can literally just it's coming. So just be like, I got 2.5 minutes because they're going to play 5 30-second commercials. As soon as they show the face, and it's always like, oh, and then commercial break every single time. And it doesn't matter what show. Yes, exactly. They break to commercial. Exactly. Literally does not matter what home improvement show or design renovation show you're watching. They all do it. Every single one of them. Doesn't matter which version it is at all. They all do it. Remember Chip and Joanna Gaines, how they used to have the big, huge, on the Fixer Upper show, they had literally the life-size basically billboard and they split it apart and here's your house. And they pull it apart and they always show the homeowner go, oh, and then they go to commercial every single time. So yes, 100%. So, okay, here's the point I'm making from this very long example that I decided to randomly share. It's that you know what to expect. So there's something about a routine. So think of when I say plan a show flow, I want you to plan a routine for your show, a routine for your streams. So if you've got certain things you always do every single time, then your audience is going to start to understand it and know to expect it. This actually is going to increase your chances of people tuning in and staying tuned in throughout your show. They may leave and come back because they kind of understand. But if they don't know what to expect, or if it's random every single time, people get distracted, people get thrown off, and they often will leave and not come back. But or the other thing that happens is when they see that you're live, they kind of know what they're going to get out of your live because they know the routine, right? And so they're more likely to tune in. So think about your activities, your own activities on the platform. And when you're watching live broadcasts, when you kind of know what's happening and you know what to expect, you really are more likely, you're more likely to tune in. It's kind of one of those things. Okay, so I see some questions coming in. I am going to do as much Q&A as I can when we get to that point. I'm going to share a few more tips on leveling up. What's up, Michael? It's great to see you today. Love it when you tune in, for sure. Okay, so home rapid repair, which is actually kind of funny because we were just talking about renovation shows, right? They say too true. So heck yes. Okay, so here, this is good. So Marianne says, I have my show flow in highlighted bold, check that in between my value points. Yes, I love it. So again, what I mean by show flow is I don't necessarily mean the outline of your content. I do think you should outline your content. I think the more planning you do, the better your shows are going to be. It really is a thing. Planning in advance as well. We've talked about that many times on the show. That's definitely key as well. So, but when I say show flow, what I really mean is think about more of the production, the activity of your show. Right. And I want you to create a routine that you sort of follow every time. So let me just real quick rundown example, right? For a live stream. Live stream could be you start with an overlay, then you kick into a countdown timer, and then when the timer's done, it plays an intro video. And it could be the same intro video every single time, right? So I've got a number of streamer friends that are starting to use these intro videos, and I'm loving it, right? So when you watch the Town Hall show on Sundays, there's a quick little intro video that plays before those guys go live. And then you go into your content, and then you may have two parts in the middle of your show where you are actually maybe doing a little commercial about something, a reminder about something. Maybe you have a Facebook group that you were trying to promote. Maybe you've got an email list, anything that it might be that you are trying to kind of a call to action. Then you could have like a little video thing that plays, and it's almost every single time. Maybe in the middle of your show, you do a live poll, and you do that live poll every single time, and people know to expect that live poll in the middle of your show. Maybe you're using the giveaway tool to do giveaways throughout your show. Pick a routine so that people know what to expect. Again, if you think about our Town Hall show on Sunday nights with Dan and Gage, they very much have a bit of a show flow. They you know what to expect. They have certain questions they ask every single time. They go into Q&A. They read stuff from the audience. They share some updates about the product, and then they end with a giveaway every single time, right? And it's a 30-minute show, pretty much to the T every single time. So, but you know what to expect when you watch that show. That's what I'm getting at with that one. Okay, let me check in on the comments real quick, real fast, because we're going to be kind of like we're going to stay on top of this one. So if you're in for a doozy if you're here for some fast action. So, okay, so the next thing I want you to do. Now these are a little bit more tactical. So I really want you to enhance your audio experience. So again, we're talking about improving your streams, improving the quality of your streams, a little bit of enhancement, right? So I want you to enhance your audio experience. Now, what do I mean by that? What I really mean by that is if you're not using a nice microphone, then I want you to think about investing in a microphone, right? If you're just using a built-in microphone on your computer or laptop, I guess, if you will, or even your phone, if you're streaming with your phone, then I want you to consider saving your money or whatever it takes for you to upgrade your microphone. Now, if you're already using a microphone, then just let's make sure you're using a quality microphone, right? So I mean, to be honest with you, I gotta tell you guys, it's really hard to buy a bad microphone these days. The quality of these microphones for the price has just come so far. It has come so far. So you do not have to have an XLR microphone with a fancy XLR interface. This is a USB microphone I'm using right now, and it sounds great. I get compliments all the time about this microphone. This is an Elgato Wave 3, by the way. But it's a USB. You just plug it in your computer and it's ready to go. So I do want you to consider that. So I want you to be looking at the audio experience. Now, if you're already using a nice microphone, then what else could I mean by audio experience? Well, maybe you want to start playing sound effects or even music in the middle of your stream. So we talked about that show flow just now, right? What if you actually had certain sound effects like that you play throughout your stream? Did that play? Let's try that again. I want to make sure. Yes, it did play. So I definitely want you to consider uploading. So everybody has the music, right? You have background music inside your stream, okay? Inside the studio. You can play any of those 8 tracks that are already inside of the studio. And I want you to consider adding some of these audio elements because, again, it's just going to increase the production value of your stream. Now, perceived value, I should say. How about that? Perceived value. I'm learning that phrase and how important that phrase is. Perceived value, right? Okay, so how to add an intro from StreamYard. So AZ, I think that's how we say that, AZ or AZ. Real quick, you absolutely you're going to upload a video into the video section of your studio. Okay, so you're going to upload a video to the video section of your studio. The only other way that you could do it is if you actually did a shared video from your computer. So you can also literally share a video and play it from your computer. It's so much easier if you just upload it into the studio. It's very simple. We definitely have tutorials on that. So I do want you to absolutely consider this. So a couple comments here about audio. So developing the leader within podcast says audio is first and most important. I actually agree with this. And so many of you are maybe more focused on the camera first. You should absolutely first check box that you have a great audio experience. That is more important than a high quality video or camera feed, right? So toner microphones are a good budget microphone. The Basement Show with Mr. Nast says. Let's see. Oh, I love it. This is the priority that developing the leader within says. Audio, video, and lighting. Those are the priorities. Whoa, a really fancy car just drove by my house. Like, that was I think that might have been a Lamborghini. What's a Lamborghini doing driving down the road in Indiana in this gray weather? I don't know. Maybe they needed to do something fun. I don't know. And hey, I don't live in that fancy of a neighborhood, by the way. Just saying. Okay, so another one I wanted to pull up. Coffee Talk and Tech. I think no one can go wrong with the Wave 3. I love Wavelink, makes music and audio for screen share and sound effects so easy. Yes, I would agree with this. This is the other thing I was going to say is that, if you're ready, then you want to possibly consider an audio interface, whether it be a hardware like a Rodecaster or a software. So for example, if you do buy any of the Elgato audio devices, including the Stream Deck Plus, then you actually will get the ability to use the companion software called Wavelink, which is what John is talking about here. And that is actually how I played the sound effect that y'all heard, the snap of the fingers. So adding the audio, again, we're talking about enhancing the audio experience. So this may challenge and stretch some of you. And if it's going to shut you down, then I don't necessarily want you to do it. However, I do want you to continue to try to always be enhancing and improving. So Genealogy with Amy Johnson Crow says, when I use a USB mic with StreamYard, I end up with the audio getting out of sync. Any suggestions? So a lot of times what I find, Amy, is that this could actually be a couple of things. It's possible that your computer might need more RAM. That is always an option, always something that can affect the speed at which the audio is transmitting or the video and all that. It should be in sync. It's not really a StreamYard thing. It's usually a bit of more of a component thing. The other thing I would try is a different USB cable and make sure that your USB microphone is using the right cable and plugged into the right kind of USB port. Now, we're getting a little technical here, but you have different types of USB ports. So if your microphone came with a USB cable that I don't have an example of handy and it's blue inside, then you need to find a USB port that's blue on your computer. That's a USB 3, if I'm not mistaken. Those of you that know more than me with that can correct me if I'm wrong. So sometimes that actually is going to make your audio out of sync as well. So it's not really a StreamYard thing. It's likely that it's possibly either internet speed, RAM on your computer, or even the cable possibly. Those are the things I would try first, for sure. Okay, so let's keep going, right? Dr. Geneva speaks. I'm using Elgato Wave 3, and I am using the Wavelink software as well. So Mad Mumsy says, remember to stop the music. I did a recording of it, had it on the whole time. Not loud, but annoying. Yes, if you don't want the music to be throughout your stream, then yes, you'll want to stop that music before you actually get into your real content, right? So that's one of those things for sure. All right, I see some more comments. Feel free to share your favorite audio equipment that you like to use in the comments for sure. I know that people always love to learn what everybody is using in the community. So, all right, another thing this is very specific, by the way, this next thing I wanted to say. So if you're just joining us, I'm giving you 5 things to think about or focus on to improve your live stream. So this is actually something that I know I've talked about in the past, but I absolutely think it's an absolute necessity in anyone that is not on the free plan. If you're on the free plan, you aren't going to be able to do this. There's, of course, hacky ways that you can do it by doing a screen share. But I want you to add a Be Right back screen into your StreamYard studio. So the Be Right back screen, how is this enhancing or improving your streams? Well, if you ever have a moment where you need to take a break or you need to, do something, whether it's go adjust something in the background or you've got somebody knocking at your door and it's a really important Amazon delivery that you absolutely need to get, or a prescription or whatever it might be, you might possibly need to interrupt your stream. Now, what's beautiful about StreamYard is that even if you close down or you lose power or something like that, your stream doesn't end. It's actually still streaming out in the universe, if you will. And so sometimes there have been times, more than I really have enjoyed, where I've actually had to restart my computer in the middle of my stream. And what I do is anytime I have to do something like this, like, oh, you guys, I'm going to be right back. In fact, the very first time I ever created a Be Right Back screen and put it in my own stream on my own channel was when I had a cold. And I knew that I was going to need periodically to either sneeze, cough. And when I say cough, I mean like the kind of cough that isn't just a little. And then the third possibility was I was going to need to blow my nose. And I did not want to do any of these things on screen. And I also didn't want to do this, because that's really boring, right? So I created a Be Right Back screen. Now, I highly recommend you use an easy tool like Canva to just make a video. I really like Be Right Back screens that are videos because there's motion. You can add music to it so that there's a little music playing. Again, you do not know how long you're going to be gone, which is why I like the video option with audio. And you just need to make sure you turn on the loop feature in your videos. Now, you could also do a background, because if you're gonna just remove yourself, then the background's going to be what shows. But the reason I really like a video is because it can be going, it's animated, it's motion. It just feels a little more engaging than just a static screen. Now, you can get away with just a static screen. I highly recommend you go a little bit bigger than that, because remember, this is about improving and enhancing in 2024. So a Be Right Back screen is basically all you're going to need to do is in the video section of your brand tab, you're going to click on that video and it's going to completely overlay everything that's on screen except for the banner, if you have a banner displayed, or a comment. And the reason I like this option with music is because anytime you play a video that has any audio with it, it's automatically going to mute your microphone. So it's going to cover you up. It's going to mute your mic so that whatever you need to do, coughing, sneezing, answering, talking to somebody, screaming to your kids to be quiet because you're trying to go live, whatever it might need to be, no one's going to hear you, right? If you use a video that doesn't have sound, you're going to need to remember to either mute your microphone or kick yourself it down backstage without, so that you don't have a hot mic going on, which happens, and I've seen it happen. So this is an example of a Be Right Back screen that I created in Canva, and it doesn't have audio, so you can still hear me talking. And this is literally going to allow you to do whatever it is that you need to do. You can do as much as restarting your computer. You can, like I said, leave the room and come back. This allows you to do some other interesting things. So one of the things that I am going to be doing this year on my own channel is I'm going to be doing a little bit more mobile streaming. So what I mean is I'm literally going to start my stream here, and then I'm going to basically move my stream to my phone, and then I'm going to go into my kitchen and maybe make a cocktail and talk about something while I'm making a cocktail. It's kind of this little new show flow thing that I'm kind of working on. But in order to do that, with it to be a little more seamless, meaning I can go away and then come back on my phone, I would literally be here talking to you. I'm going to keep talking to you. I'd click on Be Right Back, or I might put something like changing it up or whatever it might be. And then literally I've left the stage, and then I am going to enter the stage again on my phone. And I'm not going to have any weird audio echoes or anything crazy that would go on if I didn't do that. So I'm going to leave the stream, and then I'm going to come back on my mobile, and I'm going to be in a completely different location. You can also use this type of transition, if you will, when you are bringing on a guest or just doing other things. So again, that show flow, that's why I started with show flow, because I want you to have this show flow figured out, and then you're going to need to figure out what elements you need to support that new show flow. So definitely one of those things. A Be Right Back screen is absolutely a must. It's definitely a must. Marion says, okay, on my list. You don't have one, Marion? I'm shocked you don't already have a Be Right Back screen. Be Right Back. You've got to have one. It's really important. So yes, for sure. Let's see. Oh, this is a really smart idea. So Conspiracy Music says, I put upcoming event videos on my Be Right Back screen. That's a great idea. So, why not, add a little advertisement or other things to your Be Right Back screen? It certainly doesn't have to just simply be Right Back. You could totally add more things to it. That's a really great idea. I actually really like that. Okay. GR Houston Jack says, I'll be creating a Be Right Back screen tomorrow. You absolutely need one. Yep. So Dizpod made one in Canva. Super easy. It really is easy. Ron likes this suggestion. Fantastic. This is good. You gotta have it. It's definitely one of those things that you not need to have in your pocket of things, in your pocket of assets, right? Okay, so let's keep going. So I've got about 15 more minutes, and I definitely want to answer some questions. So we're gonna the next two are pretty easy. Well, kinda. I don't know. Okay, lighting. I definitely want you to consider a lighting upgrade. Now, a lighting upgrade could be actually purchasing lighting, your front-facing lighting for you. It could also be purchasing some colored lights that you might put in your background, or even just something as simple as something of interest in the background, right? So on our channel, I forgot to grab the link. Let me grab this link really quick, because Nick Nimmin did an awesome lighting video on StreamYard's YouTube channel. So you can definitely grab it. I am going to find it really fast, because it's not that old that he did. Let's see. Let me find it really quick. I swear it was not that long ago. Oh, now I'm going to make a liar of myself. Okay. Maybe it was on his channel. You know what? I think it might have been on his channel. So let me look for that. He did a really great, I'm just saying, he did an awesome lighting lighting tutorial on his channel. Go to his channel. Okay, here's what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to find that video, and I'm going to post it after this show is over. I'm going to add that video to the comments. So come back to this video when we're done, and you will see the lighting video that I'm talking about. It's fantastic. He talks about everything. It's like a tutorial on lighting. So when I say make a lighting upgrade, it could even just be you fixing some settings on your camera, fixing some settings on your lights in general. But he kind of goes through this great tutorial about lighting. So I definitely want you to check that out when I post the link to it. I meant to grab it, and I completely forgot to grab that link before we went live today. So I really like, by the way, so if you're asking about my background lights, I wouldn't be shocked if there's a comment. I haven't been looking at the comments, but I really like the product brand Govee, Govee. And the reason I like the product brand Govee is because You can do a lot of customizations. They have bulbs. So I will tell you right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 overhead recessed lights. And I actually recently made the decision to change all those lights to Govee bulbs. Now they are recessed. And so I actually was able to just put bulbs in there and they don't look weird, luckily. And so I now have almost all the lights are set to a purple color. And then the one above me, the two above me are a regular color. I did notice now that there is a shadow there that I don't love. So I'm going to need to kind of either work on my positioning of where I am or figure something else out. However, what that does is see how the top of my hair is illuminated? It's kind of like faking a hair light, which it lights you up and it creates a differentiation. So it actually creates a better depth for you. And then it differentiates you from the background is really what it is. But then all the other lights are like a purplish color. That's actually casting a purplish hue onto the carpet. It's just adding color behind me. Now, back here, those are actually RGB floodlights. They're actually intended for the outside of your house, but they're RGB floodlights. They come with a little remote and I can change the colors. And those are shining up onto the wall, which is why you're getting a big bright color. Now, it does create a hot spot on this thing over here because of my cabinetry. We got to work on that and fix it. But anyway, my point is that you don't have to spend a ton of money to create a light experience. Having lights and color and things like that they need to go with your brand. So if you're not one of these, you don't need all these colors and all this stuff, then don't do it. However, I do want you to focus on your actual lighting. So make sure that your lighting is great. It might be time for you to buy a $60 ring light and put it in front of you, or a Elgato key light, whatever it might be, or some soft boxes, or whatever your version of an upgrade is, or just again maybe some things in the background. So enhance your lighting, make a lighting upgrade for sure. I see some, Six Bows is back, says, my lighting is definitely inconsistent. Thank you. Yes, I will tell you that I absolutely still need to work on my lighting. So Mad Mumsy says, what's your channel called, Mel? I'm not sure if I follow Love the Cocktails idea. It's at Melanie Diane. There's actually a link in the description, wherever the description is from you're watching, where it says learn more from Mel, and you can check the channel out there. Getting ready to do a lot more fun stuff on that channel for sure. Okay, so LED strip lights are good as well. Yes, they are. I absolutely got started with just LED light strips. They're super easy. But the reason I also like Govee, DizPod, they're not expensive. You can get them just about anywhere. And then also, let me close my Teams because now my team is deciding to start messaging everybody at 6:00 at night. So they don't flicker. So that's actually something that's kind of key and important, is that lights sometimes, depending on the camera you're using, lights can flicker. So colored lights sometimes will actually create a flicker in the background. So if you've tried to use Christmas lights or whatever in the background, you've probably noticed at times that there are some that do flicker. And so the Govee lights don't. And that's one of the reasons I also like the Govee brand, is I've never had any issues with them flickering. Okay, can I use a backdrop on my first live? Ooh, well, that's exciting. Can you use a backdrop? Absolutely. In fact, a lot of people use backdrops. However, what I would say is if you're going to use a backdrop, you definitely want to make sure you have the proper lighting for that kind of studio experience. So sometimes people will like to use just a solid colored backdrop behind them. One of the things you can do is you can also get a light and you can shine it up behind you. So just put it on the floor behind where you're sitting or standing and have it shining up onto that backdrop. And it's actually going to create this beautiful glow and illumination. If you go look at D. Nimen's channel, so D. Nimen on YouTube, and you go back to I don't think he does it this way anymore, but some of his streams, he got stranded away from home during COVID, and he just went with this really simple setup. It was just a backdrop and a purple light shining behind him, and the streams look great. So there's all kinds of ways that you can certainly use a backdrop for sure. Okay, so last tip that I wanted to cover, or last thing I wanted to talk about how you are going to improve your streams this year, and this one is just not very exciting, but it's really important, and that is to practice. So anything you're trying to do, whether it's adding in some of these elements that I'm talking about with, videos and maybe you're thinking, oh, that's a really cool idea. Switching from streaming on the desktop to streaming over onto my phone and walking around my house or going outside or doing whatever. That takes a little practice because here's the thing. There's going to be weird things that happen and you need to be able to know what to expect so that you can do it properly. And so there's no excuse for you to not be willing and ready to explore trying new things. You don't have to do it while you're live. You could absolutely play with almost all the features inside StreamYard Studio without actually being live. The only real thing you can't do is interact with a live audience. But you can practice everything. You can add the overlays, you can add the videos, you can do whatever you want in the middle of the studio without being live. Like I said, the only real thing is, of course, guests as well as, you have to have a guest with you. You can practice that. But you cannot, of course, practice interacting with a live audience. But I also always like to recommend that if you're going to practice, one of the things you also want to be able to do is go back and watch, hear how your audio sounds, see how your lighting looks on a phone or whatever. Check it out. See how your signal was. If you went live on your phone and you went outside, make sure you had strong enough signal to do that. By the way, if you're going to do that, here's a pro tip. You would want to turn off your Wi-Fi because if you do go outside, you're going to be away from your Wi-Fi and it's going to be all of a sudden get wonky because it's living in between the world of cellular data and your Wi-Fi, and you're far away from your Wi-Fi. So if you are going to do something like that, then turn off the Wi-Fi and use your cellular data. Also, make sure your phone's plugged in and charged fully all the way before you do it, because you'd be shocked how going live drains your battery. But anyway, being able to do these things and practice it is going to allow you to also troubleshoot any issues that you didn't expect, because these are new things for you, right? These are new things. You're trying new, harder things. And I absolutely encourage you to practice. Also, just practice interacting in the studio and with the live studio, being able to pull up banners, turn them off, go into your brand tab, play the videos, turn on the Be Right Back screen, whatever it might be that you want to do. Play the music, turn the music off, turn it up, turn it down. I feel like so many people get scared to try new things because they don't feel like they ever have an environment to actually learn the new things. StreamYard is super easy. You don't have to have any kind of major, production background or anything to use these features. They are designed for simplicity. They are designed for them to be easy to use. But you aren't really ever going to try them or see how they are or see how you feel about that new show flow you created unless you practice it and then go back and watch it. So what I would like for people to do is there's a couple ways that you can basically keep a record of your practices. You can either create a private Facebook group and stream into that nobody's even in, or maybe add a few peers or friends so that you can practice the live audience, or you can always stream to YouTube as an unlisted stream or a private stream. That's a setting you would select before you actually, when you're creating your live video in StreamYard, you would select that setting. I don't love that idea, and here's why. It is too easy to forget to change that setting, and next thing you know, you think you're practicing and you're actually live on YouTube to your audience. And I've seen it done. I've done it myself, but I've seen it done. There's really no reason for it. So I say try it, but do it in a Facebook group. Practice it and use all these things in the Facebook group, because then you can go back and you have a little record of these and you can watch them. I actually have a private Facebook group and it's hilarious, some of the stuff. And I always in the description say when I'm practicing or testing so that I can go back and look at it and be like, oh, remember when I first got that microphone? That's really cool. So anyway, I absolutely highly encourage you to practice. It's really important. So, okay, I saw a few questions come in. I've got just a couple of minutes here. I'm going to try really hard to answer a few of these questions. If you just now joined us, I literally just went through 5 tips. They're going to help you improve your live streams, right? So one was plan a show flow, planning, but create a show flow that has a bit of a routine. This is really the activities that you do in your streams, not necessarily the specific content. I want you to enhance your audio experience. So either upgrade your microphone or start to incorporate audio effects, sound effects, as well as maybe music, background music or intro music or anything else that can add a little bit of level of fun to that audio experience. Audio is absolutely the most important thing to focus on for your live streams. If your audio is not good, and your video is amazing, you'd be shocked how many people will not watch your video or listen to it. And then I said, create a Be Right Back screen. So either do a video or just an overlay. I prefer video with sound. Definitely turn it on loop. And then this is going to allow you to deal with issues or mistakes, or even do a little bit of a transition then when you need it. And if you do long streams, you definitely need a Be Right Back screen, because you're probably going to need to take a break at some point during that stream. And this is going to allow your audience to kind of just stay engaged and know that you are coming back. So I love the Be Right Back screen. Everyone should have one, and it should always be in your studio. Make a lighting upgrade. I want you to either add good lights so that you have great lighting, or add enhancement lights like colored lights in the background, or just some elements throughout your actual stream background in your studio. And then, of course, we just talked about practice, practice, practice. You definitely want to practice anything that you're trying. I absolutely want you to enhance what you're doing in your streams. Use all of the awesome StreamYard features, sharing screens, displaying slides on screen while you're talking, playing videos, using transition videos, displaying comments, using the banners, all these things. But practice it. Custom layouts. You got to practice it though, so that you get comfortable, because the more you're comfortable, then you're more likely to do more things, challenge yourself, and your audience is going to absolutely love the improvement that you're making to your streams and the experience that they're getting from you. So definitely what we just talked about. Now, I've got a few questions. Let me jump into those really quick. Zan the Man says, hey, quick question. Is there a setting to pause a live recording before it auto loads on my YouTube channel? No. No. I don't think that there is. And I am trying to close. I tried closing Teams. Oh, there we go. There it is. Quit. Okay. I don't know if there's a way. I don't think so. The only thing I could think that you would do is you'd be live, and then you could possibly basically go straight to YouTube right away and hide that video. So you could hide it, make it private, and then when you're ready, then you could make it not private anymore. That would be one way. I'm not sure of another way to do that though. But it is automatically going to publish it to YouTube. That is the way that works. Home Rapid Repair says, I use an inexpensive Fifine microphone. To me, it sounds fine on the replay. Do you think it's too cheap? I mean, I'll go check it out. I'll try to go check it out. Do me a favor. Totally comment on this live stream and tag me in your comment to go check out your microphone. And then I will go check it out and I'll tell you what I think. I'll give you my honest opinion. I have seen Fifine microphones reviewed on YouTube plenty of times, and a lot of them sound pretty good. I will tell you all that a lot of times your microphone itself, some of it has to do with technique. So the best microphones are the ones that are close to your mouth with the gain turned down. So sometimes, that will also improve the sound of your audio. So if you are using a more inexpensive microphone, sometimes that's all you need to do. You just want to make sure it doesn't have a lot of plosives. This has an internal filter, pop filter, that really reduces those plosives. Okay, last question. Leaving Scientology says, how can we include a template as part of each of the studio options? Change the studio layout and it changes to a template selected previously for it. Okay, I'm not totally sure I fully understand your question. However, if you're trying to create basically a set of, let's say that show flow, and you've got a welcome video, a Be Right Back video, blah, blah, blah. And that is for show A, but then you have another show you do that's different and it needs different stuff. And we'll call that show B. You can absolutely use the brand folders. So the brand folders, if you're in your brand tab in StreamYard, at the very top above in that tab, you're going to see, it'll say brand 1 by default, I think. Then you can actually create a new brand and upload, change the colors, to have a totally different logo, and have different assets inside of that. That would basically be how you would have template B. And so I would use the brand folders for sure if it comes to that. So I'm pretty sure that's what you were asking, and I hope it was. So I think it was. If not, again, post in the comments after and let me know. Or y'all can also go post in our Facebook community. If you're not already in the Facebook community, you definitely want to make sure you join it. All you got to do is search a StreamYard community in Facebook and you'll find it. Post whatever questions you guys have in there that if I didn't get to answer it, or if I didn't answer your question clearly, because there's all kinds of super users in there. Partners are in there. I'm in there. The StreamYard support team is in there, and it's a great place for you to get your questions answered or even get advice from other streamers that are using StreamYard as well. So it's a really great place for you to get those questions. Okay. I am going to have to end this stream, even though I feel like I just got warmed up. I definitely want to invite you all, like I said, over to that Facebook community. But if you're not watching on YouTube, then I definitely want to make sure that you go check out the StreamYard YouTube channel, because there are so many great videos on there, tutorial videos, there's lighting videos, there's audio videos. There's so many great videos that get uploaded by the team there. And then, of course, there's all kinds of live videos for you to hang out and tune in and see great production in live with the StreamYard studio. So subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. I am going to go have dinner with my family, and I am also going to end this stream with another asset that I think you should have in your show flow, and that is a thank you screen, a thank you for watching screen, because it actually makes ending your video easier. And it lets you also just have some time after your video if you want to repurpose that video and add some cards like YouTube lets you to the screen. But really, it's just a great, easy way for you to transition and to let people say their final words, and you're not just cutting them off, right? The stream's not just ending. So I actually really like ending with a thank you screen. Now, you could also end with a special credits video. I've seen all kinds of cool creative things out there that people are doing. If you have members, you got members on there, whatever it might be. But anyways, all right. Sorry for the quick stream. Sorry that I talked a million miles an hour during this stream, but it was fun to hang out with y'all. If you were watching live, I really, really appreciate it. And if you got this far to the replay, woo, you deserve a gold star. Definitely leave a comment and let me know what you thought in the comments, and I will come back and respond to you. So everybody, have a great Friday night. Have a great, safe, wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time.